Good morning, children. We'll begin today's class with the new topic, foreign exchange rate. Now, yesterday we completed up to the difference between what you call current account and capital account, right? Now, previously over the years, we used to have the basic balance of overall balance, which is we have autonomous items, accommodating items. But this year, this has been deleted from the portion. If you would go to see the revised economics portion which is given, there is no mention given of these topics. So these have been deleted for this year. Over the years, we used to do it autonomous and accommodating items in the B, OP, and the balance of trade. All that we used to do, basic equilibrium in the balance. But this year, there is no mention in the new revised economic portion. This year, you are aware that because of the pandemic, quite a lot of topics have been deleted, and these are some of the topics which have been deleted. So now we come to the next topic, which is foreign exchange rate. Written on the board, foreign exchange rate. Meaning, foreign exchange refers to foreign currency or all currencies other than the domestic currency. For example, we have US dollar, British pound. These are all foreign exchange from the viewpoint of India. For India, the US dollar, the British pound is a foreign exchange, the foreign currency. Now, the rate, write down the rate at which the currency of one country can be exchanged for the currency of the other country is called the rate of foreign exchange. It is the price paid in domestic currency in order to get 1 unit of foreign currency. Let us take an example. Suppose the rate of the money keeps exchanging or keep on fluctuating up and down every day, probably could happen even every hourly. So at the present rate, if I want to have 1 US dollar, I would check up the going rate of 1 US dollar, and suppose it is example 45 rupees for a US dollar, then I would have to pay 45 rupees to get 1 US dollar, and this rate keeps on fluctuating, increasing or decreasing on a daily basis, sometimes even hourly basis. So the foreign exchange rate is the rate which we pay in domestic currency for obtaining a foreign currency. That is called the foreign exchange rate. So every country's currency has an exchange rate. If people want to do trade with India, India deals in rupees. They have pounds or they have dollars. They could convert their money into the Indian rupees and accordingly trade takes place. So the foreign exchange rate is the rate by which a domestic currency is paid to obtain a foreign currency. Okay. Now, types of foreign exchange. There are two types of, this first is fixed exchange rate system, and second is flexible exchange rate. Flexible exchange rate. So there are two types of foreign exchange broadly. There are two broad concepts. First, the fixed exchange rate system, and second, the flexible exchange rate system. Let us talk about the first one. Fixed exchange rate system. It is the rate which is officially fixed by the government or the financial authority of the country. It is the rate which is officially determined in terms of gold or any other currency by the government. A typical kind of this system was used under the gold standard system. Under the gold standard system, where the value of each currency was defined in terms of gold and therefore the exchange rate was fixed according to gold value of currencies which had to be exchanged. This is also called mint par value of exchange. Mint par value of exchange, also called mint par value of exchange. For example, if $1, suppose $1, you can get 200 grams of gold. Just an example. And in Indian currency, rupees 50. Let's say rupees 50. gives you 200 grams of gold. Now, if it changes $1, since it is equal to 200 grams of gold, so $1 is equal to rupees 50. $1 you get 200 grams of gold, and in Indian rupees, rupees 50 gives you 200 grams of gold. So, what is the value here? $1 is equal to rupees 50. $1 equal to rupees 50. This is how the exchange rate goes. Because when you pay in dollar, you are paying $1 for 200 grams. When you pay in rupees, you are paying 50 rupees. So what is the comparison? $1 is equal to rupees 50. Suppose now $1 you get 200 grams, but now the rupees increases to rupees 70, you get 200 grams of gold. In this case, $1 will be equal to rupees 70 if there is a change. Yes or no? Previously, $1 would get you 200 grams of gold. This is an example. And rupees 50 would get you 200 grams of gold. Two currencies are used, dollar and right? How would you read it? Foreign exchange in the market would be $1 is equal to 50 rupees. Suppose the dollar holds on, $1 gives 200 grams of gold, but now 70 rupees will give you 200 grams of gold. You have to give more money. So what would be now? The new rate will be $1 is equal to 70. Understood? Yes or no? Give me a nod, yes or no. Okay. So you can take down this as an example. This is the mint par value of exchange where it is used under the gold standard system. Now, what are the merits of this? Write down merits. The first merit is stability. It ensures stability in the exchange market and day-to-day fluctuations are avoided. It helps in formulating long-term economic policies. It helps in formulating long-term economic policies relating to exports and imports. Relating to exports and imports. First merit is stability. Second, encourages international trade. Encourages international trade. Because of the low risk. Because of the low risk and low uncertainties for future payments. And the third merit would be coordination of macroeconomic policies. Coordination of macroeconomic policies. Under this, we can write down the fixed exchange rate system helps in coordinating macroeconomic policies across different countries of the world. This helps in coordination of macroeconomic policies across the different countries of the world. So there are 3 merits. Now write down some demerits. First, huge international reserves. Huge international reserves. This system is often supported with huge international reserves of gold. And second, rigidity in resource allocation. Rigidity in resource allocation. The fixed exchange rate imparts rigidity to the allocation of resources of reserves, particularly in international trade. These are the two demerits: huge international reserves and rigidity in resource allocation. Now we talk about the second, that is flexible exchange rate. Flexible exchange rate. The system of exchange rate in which rate of foreign exchange is determined by the forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange is called flexible exchange rate system. Here, the value of currency is allowed to fluctuate according to the demand and supply of foreign exchange. There is no official intervention in the foreign exchange market. Okay. Next, can I remember this? Now we will have determination of flexible exchange rate. Determination of foreign exchange rate. Determination of flexible exchange. No need to write for it. Determination of flexible exchange rate. The value of the currency of each country in terms of other currency depend upon the demand for and supply of their currencies. According to this theory, the rate of exchange, according to this theory, the rate of exchange of a country's currency is determined by the demand and supply of foreign exchange. The sources of demand what are the sources of demand for foreign exchange? For foreign exchange. Sources of demand for foreign exchange. Why do we want foreign exchange? That is what has been told. Number one, to purchase goods and services from foreign countries. Second, to purchase financial assets. Purchase financial assets in a foreign country. Third, to send gifts and grants to abroad. send gifts and grants to abroad. In brackets, you can write transfer payments. Fourth, to make payments of international trade brackets, that is imports, to make payments for international loans, to make payments for international loans, and last point, to undertake foreign tours. So children, foreign exchange is demanded by the domestic residents for these following reasons. These are the foreign exchange demanded by the residents or the domestic residents of a country for these 6 reasons. Okay. Below this you can write down, there is an inverse relationship between the price of foreign exchange and demand for foreign exchange. When exchange rate rises, demand for foreign exchange falls, and vice versa. That is why the demand curve for a foreign exchange becomes downward sloping. Demand for foreign exchange would be downward sloping, quantity demanded, and this would be the exchange rate. Exchange rate. This is the rate. This would be the quantity demanded. The rate increases R1, quantity demanded decreases Q1. If the rate decreases R2, quantity demanded. There is an inverse relation. You learned this already in class 11. Demand is a negatively sloped, downward sloping curve. Here instead of price, we are talking about the rate. Normally, demand has an inverse relationship to price. That's what we learned in the 11th class, isn't it? When the price increases, the demand decreases. And when the price decreases, the demand increases. Similarly here, if this was the rate, going rate, the person would demand OQ. Here, this was the rate OQ. When the rate rises from R to R1, now he will demand less OQ1. And if the rate becomes less, then he will demand. There is an inverse relationship between the price of foreign exchange and the demand for foreign exchange depending on the rate, and that is why it is a negatively sloped demand curve. Is that clear, children? We will tomorrow do the tomorrow means whenever there is a next class, the sources of supply of foreign exchange. This was sources of demand for foreign. Is that okay? Any has any doubt regarding today's topic? No? Then we will stop till here and meet for the next class. Have a nice day and be safe.